Yes, sir.
Well,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
You can get as close to me as you want. You know, I always. Just like this.
We got a few microphones here.
Just a few. Yeah. We know it's your favorite thing.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready whenever y'all are.
Do it on your way, Charles.
There you go.
All right. I'm good. Thank you, Sheriff.
Everybody ready? So the reason I asked you all to come here today is because we had quite a number of requests for on-camera interviews about the two homicides that occurred here in Henry County last night. And I'll go over those each individually. The first homicide we had last night was just after 8 p.m. in the 4500 block of Irisburg Road, where we received a call from a male individual, and he stated to the dispatcher that he had shot his boyfriend. So our deputies responded to that address. When they arrived, the individual exited the home and was taken into custody without incident. So our deputies entered the house and did in fact confirm that there was one male subject located inside the home who was deceased from apparent gunshot wounds. The individual who called 911 to report this was cooperative with the investigation, and as a result of the investigation, he was charged with one count of second-degree murder as well as use of a firearm and commission of a felony. And he is currently housed in the Henry County Adult Detention Center without any bond. And the second one, we had not even concluded the first investigation. Before at 1:13 a.m. this morning, we received the call that there had been an additional homicide that took place inside the scrub board laundry located on Rives Road here in Henry County. And what happened with that incident is there was a gentleman inside the scrub board laundry washing his clothes. A female, no relation between the two of them, also entered the scrub board laundry. And a short time later, a third subject, an additional male, entered the scrub board laundry. And upon entering, he demanded that the female that was already located inside the laundromat give him her cell phone. She refused to do so, and the first gentleman who was there, who was simply washing his clothes, got between the two of them to intervene from this individual trying to take her cell phone. At which time the two of them began to argue, and the third male that had entered the laundromat produced a knife, followed the individual across the laundromat, and ultimately stabbed him in the neck at least one time. So through the course of this altercation, the suspect was also injured and bleeding heavily. Our K-9s and deputies tracked that individual up Rives Road and ultimately to an address on Village Street in the city of Martinsville. It was quite a distance. I don't know the exact distance. I would estimate it may be as far as a mile. So as we were conducting that, the Martinsville Police Department received a call in reference to a domestic disturbance situation. When they arrived, they recognized the individual involved in the domestic as being the individual captured on video in the stabbing from the laundromat. And in fact, he was still bleeding heavily from his injury. So the Martinsville Police Department was able to take him into custody without incident. And we have enough evidence he's been charged with first-degree murder. And he is also currently held in the Henry County Adult Detention Center without bond. Do we have any questions?
How many homicides does this make for Henry County this year?
This is number 4 for the calendar year 2023. Unfortunately, one of those was a murder-suicide between family members.
Can you confirm the name of the female that was also involved in the suspect at the laundromat?
We will not release that.
In the first case, are we calling that a domestic violence incident?
I would definitely say it's domestic in nature, yes.
Just for the public, could you give those names, if you don't mind?
For the first one, the decedent in the first homicide from Irisburg Road was Brian Richard Robertson. He's 36 years old of Stoneville, North Carolina. And the individual who's in custody for that is a John Andrew Brooks, 59 years of age, who resides at the residence where it took place at 4571 Irisburg Road.
County Sheriff's Office has the capacity to be able to handle these two homicides at the same time?
Most certainly. So I will give all the credit to our team here. We are blessed here at the Henry County Sheriff's Office to have a team of deputies and investigators that I will say are second to none. So we work daily to ensure that we're on the forefront of training, technology, forensics, and modern day best practices. This office is capable of handling any crime.
Can we talk about the teamwork that you guys have within the city? Because I know the police department in the city was essential in getting this individual in custody because you were working two homicides at the time.
Yes. When this call came in, the city of Martinsville responded to the scene there on Rives Road and began to assist us, as well as the Virginia State Police. And we're again blessed to have great working relationships with both of those agencies. And through those good working relationships, we're able to serve this community much better. So the entire incident from the laundromat was captured on video. So we provided that photographs of the suspect to the Martinsville police officers immediately to get those out throughout the area. And it's because of that and Martinsville's willingness to work with us that they recognized it immediately that the suspect on Ferry Street was in fact our suspect from the laundromat. So we're very thankful for that relationship and those officers being vigilant and really helped us out a lot.
And going to the Rives Road incident, could you say if that individual was under the influence or anything that led to this?
We suspect that alcohol may have been involved.
How about the motivation of the scrub board laundry?
It appears to be a completely random act of violence. It's one of the most senseless acts of violence I've seen in my 23 years here at the Sheriff's Office.
No or nothing?
Over a good Samaritan trying to prevent an individual from taking a woman's telephone. He was doing the right thing for the right reason, and this act of violence was absolutely deplorable and senseless.
As a sheriff, does that concern you?
Well, it is most certainly concerning that someone would be so callous as to commit such a crime, but I'm thankful that he is now incarcerated in the adult detention center, and we hope to keep him there for a long time.
Now, you said there was a video of this entire incident. Will any of that be released to the public? Has it been released?
It has not been released, and it will not be released. We'll have to maintain that video to protect the integrity of the investigation, and it'll be presented at trial.
Now, obviously, you said there have only been 4 homicides this year, and, I mean, this isn't super common for Henry County, and now we've had 2 in one night. What's your message to the community at this time? Obviously, one of these was domestic and one of these was random, but I mean, it's still a very scary incident for the county.
Most certainly. Fortunately, I think we're blessed to have a low crime rate here in Henry County. In fact, I'd cite an August 12 article from Martinsville Bulletin where it shows that Henry County is the second lowest crime rate in the region. The only agency in this entire region that has a lower crime rate would be Pennsylvania County. So I feel like our citizens are safe. We will continue to work hard every day to ensure that they're safe, and we'll leave no stone unturned to solve any crime that may happen here.
What would you like to say to the community if they want to help a Samaritan, kind of in the incidents of the second one that happened earlier this morning? What would you like to say to the community?
Obviously, they have to be cautious. We don't want to see you turn your back or turn a blind eye to anyone in need, but if the opportunity presents itself, the better route is to call 911 and get law enforcement officials on the way. And it's oftentimes better to be a good witness than to try to intervene in these situations.
Sheriff, is this the guy that you apprehended?
That is the individual who was taken into custody for the stabbing at the laundromat.
Is that mugshot from last night?
That mugshot was taken last night.
Oh, this one, okay. I mean, he's smiling.
He is, Charles.
I mean, that just, it's got people commenting.
As I said, it was a senseless and callous act of violence for no reason.
Could you give us his name as well, just for the public?
Yes, the individual charged there is Kenneth Austin Tatum. He's 30 years of age, and he reports an address of 900 Rives Road, Martinsville, Virginia.
But can't you see, for the public, this is like another round of horror, scariness, you know?
It is. It's scary for the public. I assure them that we're working hard to keep this community safe, and when these incidents happen, we're resolving them as quickly as possible, and we're putting these people in jail.
It seems like the biggest problems seem to be on weekends after 11 o'clock. nightclubs and things like that? Is
Our-
that-
You know, without having those numbers in front of me, I really wouldn't want to speculate on our busiest times.
Mhm. Okay.
But that'll be information that'll be available to you shortly.
Okay.
For people that do go out late at night, I mean, in the case of the second homicide, I mean, this is somebody just trying to do his laundry. I mean, this can happen anywhere. I mean, what do you have to say, just as a word of caution for people if they do need to be out, after midnight?
Well, unfortunately, these incidents happen all around this country far too frequently. So I would say that if you're required to travel late at night and you go these places, there's safety in numbers. Please take others with you. You know, keep your phone handy so you can call 911.
From watching the video, could this guy have had a chance against this guy?
Well, you have a good Samaritan there who is trying to do the right thing, and he is suddenly and quickly attacked with an edged weapon. So the opportunity to defend yourself against someone attacking you with a knife is very difficult.
And just to be clear, it was an attempted theft of property. It wasn't successful.
That's correct. He got no property from anyone.
And then regarding the first incident, what was the motive again for the shooting?
It was domestic in nature.
And then with the first shooting, obviously we did say it was domestic in nature, and I mean, this could have been a very random spur of the moment thing, between, two people in a relationship, but I mean, if it was a situation where, one person is in, a situation of domestic abuse, I mean, if somebody else is in this situation, I mean, what do you have to say, to anybody else that may be in a domestic violence situation?
They need to remove themselves from that situation as quickly as possible. Typically, these situations don't start at that level of violence. They escalate to that level of violence. So I'd encourage anyone who, even at the onset of the slightest violence, would remove themselves from the situation. Seek help and just get away from it before that violence can escalate. Get out of the cycle of domestic violence.
Of course, we don't want to scare citizens, so could you reassure us that, of course, again, with those numbers, Henry County is safe and you guys work always for public safety?
Absolutely. I know it is scary for the citizens anytime we have a homicide here, but like I said, this is number 4 in Henry County this year. We're still on par to be less than we were the year before. Citing again the bulletin article, we're second lowest crime rate in the region, so our citizens can enjoy a good quality of life here and feel safe. We will continue to work hard to ensure that happens, but there's no one roaming the streets. These individuals who committed these egregious acts of violence are currently incarcerated, and so they're not out in our community to hurt anyone else.
And most of the time, whenever you do have an incident like this, besides the Rives Road incident, they're between 2 or 3 parties, and there's no threat to the community.
Statistically speaking, most homicides, the victim and offender do know each other, particularly from the homicides we investigate here in Henry County. This is one of the few acts of truly random violence we've seen.
And you said there may have been alcohol involved in the second one.
That's correct.
Now, as sheriff, how are you doing with all of this? I know, you're still pretty new to the job as sheriff, and I mean, we've had a couple different incidents. I mean, as sheriff, and especially, so new to the job, I mean, how are you handling everything?
We're handling it well. Like I said, I took office July 1. We've had 3 of those homicides have been since July 1. Many other instances, including a bank robbery since July 1. And what I am proud to say is that we have successfully resolved every one of those to keep this community safe. And again, that's because I'm blessed to have such a strong team here at the Henry County Sheriff's Office. I have the best deputies and the best investigators, and I really give them a lot of credit. They work tirelessly, day in and day out, to ensure these crimes are resolved and this community stays safe.
Sheriff, you have an extensive background in investigation, so this is nothing new to you, and you are able to lead from the front because you've been there.
That is correct. I've been here at the Sheriff's Office for 23 years, and the lion's share of my career was spent in the investigations division. I spent 6 years as a general investigator, most of those working homicide myself. I supervised the investigations division as the lieutenant and the captain, so pretty much every homicide that's occurred here in Henry County dating back to 2003 I've been involved with in some form or fashion, so we have a lot of experience here.
How does that help us in the role of the sheriff?
it's a tremendous help because, you know, I know what to expect from my investigative team and our first responding deputies. And so we're able to work alongside of them. And it would be difficult to supervise someone doing something you've never done yourself before.
I've spent the last 12 hours with you. Have you got any rest?
Yeah, we took a little nap.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks so